Hey guys, Pete Weintraub, permanent weight loss specialist here. First off, I want to welcome you to the permanent weight loss community in this group. Now, this is something that I've been thinking about doing for quite a long time. I just started doing some different personalized Facebook groups for different clients of mine, but I want to get the word out there and, to tell you a little bit about myself. If you didn't check out the video that I posted towards the start of this group, again, my name is Pete Weintraub. I'm the founder of this group. I'm a permanent weight loss specialist, and I've been working in the health and fitness industry for 10 years. It wasn't something that I aspired to, and it was actually something I kind of fell into. So to keep a long story short, I've struggled with weight for over 20 years of my life. I'm 29 now. So most of my life, I struggled with my weight. As a child, I remember whether I was at school or at summer camp. I went to an athletic summer camp, and I'm not a natural athlete at all. And to top that off, I was a chunky kid, didn't have a lot of endurance or anything like that. So I often got made fun of for my physique or lack thereof, as well as my lack of endurance and other things as well. So I used that motivation when I hit my growth spurt as a teenager to get fit. I started running track and cross country, winter track and cross country. I kept trying to play baseball on the baseball team. I finally made the team my senior year, and luckily I got a shot halfway through the season to actually play regularly. But it was quite a road. But during that time, I went through my growth spurt, and because I was active, I literally believe as a teenager you can drink liquid bleach, and you can have a six-pack with a limited amount of activity. And it's a terrible diet. I was able to grow into my weight. I went into college very lean, but unfortunately, halfway through college, 3 months into my sophomore year, I gained 70 pounds in just 3 months. And here in the States, Thanksgiving, which is one of our major national holidays, falls in the end of November. So I went home for that break during college, and my parents, my friends, and my family from home who hadn't seen me since summer — I was in shape the summer heading into this school year — they asked me, what happened to you? And so after getting berated by them and then going back to school, and I guess the couple of weeks away really gave my friends from school a better perspective, like, oh man, you really did gain a lot of weight. And because we drink a little too much, we'd start to rag on each other. That was something that I was ragged on about personally. So I wasn't really happy about that. So I set out to lose 70 pounds. It started off as that. And through 4 months, so over the summer and then the first month of the school year, I lost about 10 pounds a month, 40 pounds. So I was more than halfway there. And really the only thing I did was I ate less and I exercised more. So I upped my activity. I was still very active, even though I didn't play a sport for my university. I did play in racquetball tournaments. I did play pickup football, softball, basketball, and I also worked out 5 days a week in the gym. So I was incredibly active. Not to mention, I went to Syracuse University in central New York. I still live in New York, and big hilly campus, and there was a lot of walking, a lot of hills involved. But for whatever the reason, I couldn't lose any weight for the next 2.5 to 3 years. So I literally stayed stuck at 235 to 240 pounds. For 2.5 years. It was really frustrating. I started toying with different fad diets and exercise methodologies. And I even got my first personal training certification towards the end of my junior year of college. And I started working at the school gym. I trained faculty, staff, and students. And it was a nice thing that helped me kind of get that into perspective. But unfortunately, I didn't learn anything that helped me lose weight. And my friend turned me on to paleo, which is the caveman diet. It's very popular in the CrossFit community. He had also turned me on to CrossFit. And between the two, I started to change my perspective on nutrition and fitness. I thought that you had to exercise a lot and for a long time, and that you had to eat considerably less than you expended from a caloric perspective in order to lose weight. And unfortunately, these are short-term fixes. They're not long-term or sustainable things. And that's why for a lot of you, I'm sure, maybe you've tried a type of program that did this type of thing and the result wasn't all that great. So that being said, let's get into today. So earlier this week, I polled you guys on the 3 things that I believe are crucial to losing weight and keeping it off. And those 3 things are fitness, nutrition, and mindset. And now 4 of you responded. 2 people said that they thought their mindset was the biggest issue. And after reading your comments, it was mostly just self-sabotage and how to stop that from happening. And that's a big mental block a lot of people have. And then 2 people talked about being consistent with exercise and fitness. You know, especially today, we're busier than we've ever been. Thanks to the advances in technology, jobs are a lot more demanding because we can get a lot more done over the course of a workday. And also, if you're a parent or a grandparent, or you could be both, obviously, you got a family to come home to and tend to after work. So it's definitely tough to work that into your schedule. So what I want to talk about today are a few different things. So where do I have the qualifications to talk about this? Well, since I overcame my weight loss plateau, I've lost another 60 pounds for a grand total of 100 pounds. So I've hit triple digits. And that really, really helped me improve my confidence and boost my confidence. And over the course of that time as well, outside of just trying the fad diets and exercise methodologies, I did also decide on getting certified. So I got a bunch of certifications to the National Academy of Sports Medicine here in the States. It's one of the most respected institutions on the fitness end. And I also have a CrossFit certification as well. So like I said, I'm very well educated in this. I've also been through the ringer. So I definitely believe I have a unique perspective that can help you if you've been struggling with your weight. So I have like a 3-tier hierarchy of what I believe is most important on your weight loss journey. So that's why I asked about those 3 specific things in the poll. So the least important, at least from the weight loss side, is exercise. So I'll talk about how to, though, stay on track with it, because exercise is important for health. It boosts mitochondrial health, and that in turn will prevent a lot of disease like cancer, heart disease, and things like that. So from an exercise perspective, I treat it almost like a job. If you have meetings, if you have an appointment, if you have an event coming up and you put it on your calendar, I would allot at least 20 to 30 minutes a day for physical activity. I take 1 rest day personally a week. So I'm active 6 days a week. I play softball in a recreational league a couple of days a week. And I do yoga. I go to a gym once a week. And I do a whole wide range of stuff. But you first got to find out, what do you enjoy doing? Do you enjoy going to a gym? Most people don't. They just feel like that's what they have to do in order to see results. Now, if you would prefer to have equipment and treadmills and all those types of things, fine. You can go to a gym. But if you have a pair of dumbbells at home, that's really all you need, all right? That's really all you need. And on top of that, too, you just need a little bit of floor space. You don't need too much. And what I like to have my clients do is something called interval training. Basically, what interval training is that instead of counting sets and reps, what you're doing is you're setting up a timer. You can do it on your smartphone. And I actually have a video. I'll link it in the comments below so you can watch the video and set it up for yourself. And I have my clients do a combination of both Tabata workouts at home and high-intensity interval training, or HIIT workouts at home. And basically what that enables you to do is a wide range of exercises utilizing, just like I said, your body weight, some light resistance, and a minimal amount of space. And you're able to get a great workout in 20 to 30 minutes. You get just as much done in a short amount of time as you would in a longer period of time. So that's number one. So like I said, put it on your calendar and then don't write it off. If you don't write off a business meeting, or you don't write off an event or an obligation that you have, then you shouldn't write this off either. This is your health. This is for your own good. And also something to think about. I said this in the video I posted last night to my private group that I also gave to you guys, was very simple. Think about your biggest motivation, right? So let's say it's your kids. Let's say you're a parent and it's your kids. It could be something different for you, but I'm just riffing here. If it's your kids and your kids fully understand what you need to do nutritionally and what you need to do exercise-wise, they know that you need to allot 20 to 30 minutes a day in order to stay active and get fit and improve your health. And then they know that at 4:00 p.m. today, that's what you're supposed to do, and you're not doing it, that's a problem. So you don't want to let them down, right? So ask yourself, if they know exactly what you're doing, maybe you should let them in on what you're doing. and they ask you, oh, did you work out at 4 o'clock today? And you say, no, I decided to kick back and watch Netflix instead. They're not going to look fondly on you for that, right? You're not setting a good example. That's the type of stuff and type of motivation in your head that you need to use. So again, from the fitness perspective, 1, schedule it on your calendar. 2, ask yourself, would your biggest external motivations, your kids, your spouse, whatever, or whoever it may be, would that person or those people feel good about watching you kind of squander away what you're supposed to be doing? That's number 1. So from a nutritional standpoint, nobody really asked about that, but actually out of the 2 physical components of exercise and diet is by far the most important physical component, because while exercise has been linked, like I said, to many health benefits, diet is not. Diet is really what's going to help you to lose weight, So what we need to do on that front is really simple. You need to shift your mentality, and this is what I did when I found out about the paleo diet. And while I don't subscribe to the paleo diet anymore, a lot of it is still relevant to me and the way that I eat and the way that I recommend my clients eat, because instead of worrying about how much you're eating, and usually you're going to undereat, which puts your body into a starvation mode, which then everything you eat, good, bad, or indifferent, from a quality perspective, will be stored as fat. And you instead listen to your body, which means you eat only when you're hungry, and you eat just to satisfy, not to stuff your face, and you eat high quality foods. So you need to shift that perspective. And nutritionally, there's a great sentence. You can find it. I have that 5 strategies report. If you go to the description of this group, there's a link to the 5 strategies report. It's free. It has the sentence in there. It talks about better quality food choices and how to approach nutrition. So I would definitely get on downloading that if you haven't already. But the sentence really quickly is to eat meats, vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. So let's go over the things that are minimized in that sentence. So some fruit. So there's something called the glycemic index. Basically, it's a scale from 0 to 100. 0 means there's no sugar in it. 100 means all it is sugar. And then a lot of fruits and vegetables fall along the spectrum. So if you're not sure about the glycemic index of a fruit, all you need to do is Google glycemic index of an apple, a banana, grapes, whatever the case may be. If it's 0 to 49 on the scale, that's good. If it's 50 to 100, that's bad. So that's really what you need to base it off of. And for a lot of people, some of my favorite low glycemic fruits are berries. Any berry is good. Doesn't matter what type of berry. Any berry is good. Apples, oranges, pears. Those are my 4 main turn-tos. All right. And there may be some others in there that work well for you. So if you're not sure about your favorite fruits, I would look into it. Really quickly, some of the biggest offenders on that perspective are grapes and melons. All right, so unfortunately, if you're a big fan of both of those, I would definitely recommend cutting back on that. Little starch. So if you're going to eat starch, for whatever the reason, what happens when you eat starch or sugar, which is the no added sugar part at the end of the sentence, is your blood sugar skyrockets when you ingest a high sugar, high starch food, okay? When that happens, insulin is released from your pancreas, and that blood sugar is sent to the necessary cells, organs, and muscles that need it. So everything that's needed at the time is distributed very nicely and efficiently. The problem is, if you do this too often, it's stored as fat, all right? So everything that's left over that's not necessary for your vital functions right at that moment is going to be stored as fat. So as over time, if we become overweight, we have eaten way too much starch, way too much sugar, and as a result, we've stored quite a bit of fat. So the way to burn that fat is to minimize your consumption of these foods. I would stay away from grains, the breads, pastas, and rices of the world. I'd stay away from those altogether. If you can cut those out, cut them out. There are plenty of healthy substitutes. I'm actually working on a very quick cheat sheet with some examples of better options instead of pasta. I also have a recipe book with a link attached in the descriptions here. If you're interested in purchasing it, it's cheap. I believe it's only $10, not even $10, $9.99. And it has 72 recipes spanning breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, appetizers, desserts. That'll really help you as well. So there are definitely ways to eat around it, but I'd cut out the grains. And then from the starch perspective, on the vegetable side, potatoes, corn, legumes, and sweet potatoes Also, very starchy vegetables. I would limit those to half a cup or less. I'm not saying to never eat that at any meal, but if you're going to eat that stuff, half a cup or less tends to be the amount that won't really hinder your ability to continue to succeed on your weight loss journey too much. Lastly, we have mindset. Now, mindset is at least 60 to 70% of the battle. So you can have all the knowledge, everything in between the ears of what you need to do. But if your mindset isn't there, then it doesn't matter what plan you're on. You're not going to succeed on your weight loss journey if your mindset is off. So I mentioned a little bit earlier about something you can do. So for starters, you need to find your biggest external motivation. That's going to be the ticket in the beginning. So again, it could be your kids, it could be your spouse, it could be somebody who you're reliant on. I know I've worked with a lot of educators and they have students, and obviously outside of teaching math or English or whatever they teach, instead of teaching that, they're also an example to them outside of just that one subject. And you're in front of the room and you're teaching them all day. Maybe they're your motivation. You want to set a better example for your students. Whatever the case may be, find what that is. And like I said before, when the exercise component came up, ask yourself, will my kids feel good about, if they knew everything I was doing and everything I needed to do, would they feel good about me skipping a workout today, about me, instead of making a healthy meal or eating a healthy snack, going out and getting a slice of pizza or a donut or a tub of ice cream, something like that? Ask yourself that, and believe it or not, that really does help work. It's a little bit of the, I'm half Jewish and I was raised Jewish, I was bar mitzvahed and all that, so it's a little bit of the Jewish guilt that I instill in myself. So when you find your external motivation, definitely harness that to reach your weight loss goal, whether that's 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 150 or more, whatever it is, you want to use that external motivation to get you there. Once you get there, and this is something that I struggled with last year, I wrote an email about this to my email list and I posted it in my group, and this is something that's crucially important. It's when you reach your goal, it's very hard to stay motivated through external influences only. You needs to come internally. It needs to come from you. So for me, last fall, my birthday is on September 17th. So last fall in 2016, I started to eat like crap on my birthday, and it didn't stop until after Thanksgiving here in the States, and in November in 2016. The result was 20 pounds of weight gain back from just neglect, not exercising regularly, and eating garbage all the time. And the reason for that is that my external motivation, I don't have kids yet. I don't have anything like that going for me. My external motivation was proving all the people who tormented me growing up wrong. And while it was a great motivator to get the six-pack abs and the single-digit body fat and to lose the 100 pounds, it didn't keep me there, right? So I needed to seriously self-evaluate, and this process took a couple of weeks into early December. And basically I decided, look, I'm a permanent weight loss specialist. I work in health and fitness. People need to understand that I'm not an armchair quarterback, which is a football position here in the States. I'm not going to talk the talk if I'm not walking the walk. It's hypocritical. People can smell that from a mile away. I need to do better. And then also, I can't serve my clients, I can't serve you guys in this group if I'm lying to you and if I'm not at my best all the time. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I do make sure that nutrition is a high priority at least 80% of the time in a bad week, usually closer to 90 to 95% of the time every other week. So find your external motivation, harness that early on, and then later find your internal motivation. Come to terms with the fact that you are worth it, that your health is important, not just to those external motivating people or things, but also to yourself. I hope you guys found this helpful. I hope this brought a little bit of clarity. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And also, I'm looking to expand the group. I just started it a day or two ago. This is a very new group, and we're looking to grow. And I've given you all, as members, the ability to invite people that you know into the group. So if you know someone who has 50 or more pounds to lose and they have struggled for years to lose the weight and keep it off, this group is going to provide them with the tools and tips necessary to get them over the hump. So please feel free to talk to them first. Don't just randomly invite them to the group, but talk to them first, and you can let them in after you invite them. I hope you found this helpful. Again, this is Pete Weintraub. I'm the founder of the Permanent Weight Loss Group. I'm going to be doing this for you every week on Thursday at noon Eastern time here in New York. And I hope you found this helpful again. Enjoy. I'm going to leave this up in the group. Have a great rest of the day or night, depending on where you are in the world. We'll talk soon.